We're getting ready to trade July week 5, 2020 on the S&P 500 and the busiest week of earnings season with Apple, Google, Amazon, Facebook all reporting next week. We're supposed to get testimony from the CEOs of those aforementioned companies, but rumor is that that's going to get postponed and not going to happen on Monday. My guess is that either they're just too busy working on phase two stimulus package and unemployment benefits extension and don't want the media to see them wasting time questioning these people when the country's in crisis, or the SEC rule that these CEOs cannot testify and talk about company business with earnings only a couple of days away. So that probably is really what's going on. It was just a stupid oversight in scheduling. Anyway, so here we are in the S&P 500. We tried to hold on to the 10-day simple moving average on Thursday when we began to sell off after failing right at 3280 on the S&P. Sold down to the 10-day, found some buyers and reversed back up, but then took care of that on Friday by gapping down open below the 10-day and unable to regain that at the high of the day and selling off all the way down to test the 3200 handle. Finding some buyers once again once that rumor got released that maybe that testimony was not happening on Monday, and closed back above 3214, which is a key level of support resistance for us, going back to last year, starting in December of 2019 and following through all through the first quarter, all the way up until the very end of February. We held all lows right at the 3214 handle, and then finally at late February we broke that. So now this comes back to haunt us as a level of support and resistance, and we just squeaked in a close above it on Friday. But let's talk about what's going to happen if we are going to head lower. If it's already too late because we've closed now below the 10-day simple moving average on the S&P, which usually gets us down to the 20-day, and we haven't really found much loyalty in holding the 20-day simple moving average. When we look to the left here back into June, we saw that we had quite a bit of breakage of the 20-day and a fight to regain it, and a back test of it as we got into the beginning of July and so on and so forth. So I don't really see much reason why, if we're going to be heading lower, that we would hold the 20-day. Seems more likely that we're going to head all the way down towards the 50-day simple moving average. This is a fast rising line. It's probably going to be right around here, around 3115, about 100 points lower than where we closed the week last week. That's going to be where it is on Monday, and then it's going to rise above that a little bit by Tuesday. What's at 3115? That's the July closing low, and we're heading into the end of the month. So we're going to come down here and test around here just above this 3115 level, make a higher close, and then reverse, maybe so. And another thing about the 50-day simple moving average, here is the S&P daily chart, just as I showed you, but with everything cleared away. Here's that break of the 10-day, here comes the 20-day, and if we were to break the 20-day and head down to the 50-day, here is the 50-day, this blue line. When we look to the left here, we see that even here at the July low, at the July low and at the June low, this sell-off at the end of June, we did not break the 50-day. We got close to it, but did not break it. And you look to the left again, here's this sell-off came nowhere near close to the 50-day. Same here, back in May. And you can see that the last time we had any contact at all with the 50-day simple moving average was coming off of the 2020 low set in March. And during the bounce, we did a little bit of wrestling back and forth here trying to clear the 50-day. But once it was cleared, we never really violated it once ever since. So that kind of says to me that, maybe we're going to come down here for one more test of it. As long as that holds, we're going to reverse above it, and we're going to continue back to 3,300. We're going to need to take out 3280. There's a thing that I use called the 80 handle rule. If we can get past 3280, it's all systems clear to get to 3,300. Okay, looking at some stocks that are reporting next week or have just reported that are momentum stocks. These two will be testing their 50-day simple moving averages. Here is Tesla. Tesla reported, closed below its 10-day. On Friday, looked below its 20-day, but reversed and closed back above it. What would be next if it's going to head lower? It looks to me like it would be looking towards its 50-day simple moving average. There are a couple of gaps in the way. It's halfway back for the year, is just below that 50-day. So a nice clean move down to test above the 50-day and reverse makes a lot of sense there, following along with the S&P. Here is Apple. Apple tends to lead the S&P by about a day, and as you can see, it is already almost there to its 50-day. Maybe it's got one more little day down on Monday and reverses and starts to move back up. and then the S&P can follow it on Tuesday and reverse back up in its wake. Here is Amazon set to report next week as well, along with Apple and Google. Here it is breaking down and closing below its 10-day, tested in its 20-day and closed right on it, looked well below its 20-day on Friday and closed just back above it. Maybe it's going to open below it on Monday and work its way down to test its 50-day and reverse back up again. And finally, Google, the last of our stocks. On this video and that is reporting next week, I'm not going to bother with Facebook. I hate Facebook. I don't even want to look at a chart of it. But anyway, here we have a break of the 10-day. We had a look below the 20-day on Friday, but a close back above it. And then if it's going to head down a little lower, we're going to maybe test the 50-day and reverse above that. You see back here, it had a single-day break and closed below its 50-day back in June when the S&P was making its June low and hold above the 50-day. So there is a chance that this one could break below it, but reverse and come back up in a single day. So it only put a one-off close below it. Hasn't been below its 50-day, just as the S&P hasn't been since back here in April, as you can see from this lovely daily chart of it. Okay, that's it. I hope this video helped you out and gave you a sense of where we are at and where we are going next week. As always, good luck and good trading.